let us continue with your government exam preparation series. This is SS1 Topic 5. We are discussing political culture and political socialization. This topic appears in your exams every single year. By the end of this lesson, you will understand the meaning of political culture, the types of political culture, the importance of political culture, the meaning of political socialization, the agents of political socialization, and how to answer exam questions. Take your notes, let us go. First, what is political culture? Political culture is the set of attitudes, beliefs, values, and feelings that people have about their political system. It is the way people think and feel about politics. Political culture is learned. It is passed down from generation to generation. It shapes how people respond to political events. It influences whether people trust the government, whether they participate in elections, and whether they obey the law. Political culture is different from political ideology. Ideology is a set of explicit beliefs about how society should be organized. Political culture is broader and more deep-seated. It includes feelings and habits that people may not even be aware of. Every country has a unique political culture. The political culture of Nigeria is different from the political culture of the United States or China. In Nigeria, political culture is shaped by ethnicity, religion, and the experience of military rule. In the United States, political culture emphasizes individualism and trust in institutions. In China, political culture emphasizes respect for authority and collective goals. Understanding political culture helps explain why different countries have different political systems and why the same system works differently in different places. Now let me explain the types of political culture. The political scientist Gabriel Almond and Sidney Verber identified 3 types. The first is parochial political culture. In a parochial political culture, people are barely aware of the political system. They have little knowledge or interest in politics. They do not expect the government to do much for them. They are focused on their local community and family. Parochial political culture is found in traditional societies where there is little specialization and no national political system. The second type is subject political culture. In a subject political culture, people are aware of the political system, but they see themselves as subjects, not participants. They know about the government. They know what the government expects from them, like paying taxes and obeying laws. But they do not believe they can influence the government. They are passive. Subject political culture is common in authoritarian systems. The third type is participant political culture. In a participant political culture, people are actively involved in politics. They vote, join political parties, express opinions, and try to influence government decisions. They believe that they can make a difference. Participant political culture is found in democracies. It requires education, information, and a sense of efficacy. Efficacy is the belief that your actions can affect political outcomes. In reality, most countries have a mix of these 3 types. Almond and Verber called this a civic culture. A civic culture has elements of all 3. People are aware of politics. They are loyal to the system, but they are also active when needed. This mix is the most stable for democracy. Now let me explain the importance of political culture. Political culture is important for several reasons. First, it provides stability. When people share common beliefs about the political system, that system is more stable. They accept the rules of the game. Even when they disagree with specific policies, they do not try to overthrow the system. Second, political culture shapes political behavior. It influences whether people vote, join parties, protest, or obey the law. Third, political culture affects the type of government a country can have. Democracy requires a participant political culture. A country with a subject or parochial political culture may not be able to sustain democracy. Fourth, political culture helps explain political change. When political culture changes, the political system may change. The spread of democratic values around the world is an example of political culture change. Now let me move to political socialization. Political socialization is the process by which people learn political values, beliefs, and behaviors. It is how political culture is passed from one generation to the next. Political socialization begins in childhood and continues throughout life. It happens through family, school, media, and other institutions. The result of political socialization is political culture. Political socialization is the process. Political culture is the outcome. Now let me explain the agents of political socialization. These are the institutions and groups that teach people about politics. The first agent is the family. The family is the most important agent of political socialization, especially for young children. Children learn political values from their parents. If parents trust the government, children likely will too. If parents are cynical about politics, children will also be cynical. The family teaches basic values like respect for authority, loyalty, and obedience. Political party identification is often learned from parents. The second agent is the school. Schools teach political knowledge and values. Students learn about the Constitution, the government, and national history. They recite the national anthem. They salute the flag. They learn to be good citizens. Schools also teach discipline, respect for rules, and cooperation. In many countries, civic education is a subject in school. The third agent is the media. Television, radio, newspapers, social media, and the internet all influence political attitudes. The media inform people about political events. They also shape how people interpret those events. Media can build support for the government or undermine it. Social media has become a powerful agent of political socialization, especially for young people. The fourth agent is religious institutions. Churches, mosques, and other religious organizations teach political values. They may teach that authority comes from God. They may encourage obedience to the government, or they may encourage resistance to unjust governments. Religious leaders often speak out on political issues. The fifth agent is peer groups. Friends and co-workers influence political attitudes. People often adopt the political views of the people they spend time with. Peer pressure can be strong. The sixth agent is political parties and interest groups. Parties teach their members about politics. They mobilize voters. They shape political discourse. Interest groups advocate for specific policies and educate their members. The seventh agent is the government itself. The government uses symbols, ceremonies, and propaganda to shape political attitudes. National holidays, monuments, and anthems all promote loyalty. Public schools teach the official version of history. Government-controlled media promote government policies. The eighth agent is the workplace. Many people learn about politics through their jobs. Unions teach workers about labor politics. Professional associations teach about regulations and policies. The workplace can also be a place where political discussions happen. Now let me explain the importance of political socialization. Political socialization is important for several reasons. First, it creates continuity. It ensures that political culture is passed from one generation to the next. This creates stability. Second, it creates loyalty. People who are socialized into a political system are more likely to support it. They see it as normal and natural. Third, it shapes behavior. Socialization teaches people what is expected of them. It tells them when to vote, when to protest, and when to obey. Fourth, it can be a tool for change. Governments can use socialization to promote new values. For example, after the end of apartheid in South Africa, schools and media were used to promote racial tolerance. Now let me explain the relationship between political culture and political socialization. Political culture is the product. Political socialization is the process. Political culture is the set of beliefs and values. Political socialization is how those beliefs and values are learned. You cannot have political culture without political socialization. The culture must be taught to each new generation. If socialization stops, the culture dies. The two concepts are closely related. When you study political culture, you are studying the outcome of political socialization. When you study political socialization, you are studying how political culture is created and maintained. A common exam question asks you to define political culture and identify its types. Here is a sample answer. Political culture is the set of attitudes, beliefs, and values that people have about their political system. The three types are parochial, subject, and participant. Parochial political culture is found in traditional societies where people are barely aware of the political system. Subject political culture is where people are aware but passive. Participant political culture is where people are actively involved. Most countries have a mix of all three types. Another exam question asks you to explain the importance of political culture. Here is your answer. Political culture provides stability, shapes political behavior, affects the type of government a country can have, and helps explain political change. A stable political culture supports democratic institutions. When people share common beliefs about the political system, they accept the rules of the game. They do not try to overthrow the system every time they disagree with a policy. Another exam question asks you to define political socialization and list its agents. Here is your answer. Political socialization is the process by which people learn political values, beliefs, and behaviors. The agents of political socialization include the family, school, media, religious institutions, peer groups, political parties, interest groups, government, and the workplace. The family is the most important agent for children. Schools and media become more important as people grow older. Another exam question asks you to explain the relationship between political culture and political socialization. Here is your answer. Political culture is the product. Political socialization is the process. Political culture is the set of beliefs and values about politics. Political socialization is how those beliefs and values are learned and passed down. Without political socialization, political culture would not survive. Every generation must be socialized into the political culture. Both concepts are essential for understanding how political systems maintain themselves. Here is what you need to take away. Political culture is the set of attitudes and beliefs about politics. The three types are parochial, subject, and participant. Political culture provides stability and shapes behavior. Political socialization is the process of learning political values. The agents include family, school, media, religion, peers, parties, government, and workplace. Political culture is the outcome. Political socialization is the process. Understanding both concepts helps you understand how political systems are maintained and how they change. Practice these definitions. When you have them down, move to topic 6.